Hello, hello. I'm Jake from Come Hang Out, and we're gonna do some post-recording commentary on some arena games. Very much aping the format that Ty has been doing in terms of the content he's been producing for the channel. Typically, we comment live over a series of matches. This, however, is going to be a single match that has already occurred, and I am commenting over it. For whatever reason, I'm way more comfortable doing the former. This is very weird to me, doing the post commentary stuff. Funnily enough, you'd think it would be the opposite way around, but yeah, here we are. So yeah, in any case, it may or may not be obvious that we're on some sort of domain zoo list at this point. That is, in fact, what we are on. We're not the standard domain zoo list. I did look some up, just in case I was like missing any key components that I needed to craft. We were missing the lightning bolts. We were missing the territorial kavus. We're still missing all the damn fetch lands. We don't have a single fetch land in this deck, and we still managed to make it work. But those fetches would make this way more consistent, I feel. For sure. But yeah, I love the card Lightning Helix. I wanted to incorporate it into the deck, especially with all the shock lands that we end up playing. It can help mitigate a lot of that like life loss. I don't know what I would replace them with were I to replace them with something. I don't have Orcish Bowmasters. I'd probably be a little bit more leaning towards black so I could run that. And I only say that because I got bodied by that card a number of times. Like, that card puts in work. Like, god damn. But yeah, as you can see, we managed to stick a Nishiba Brawler, and we get to rumble in with it a few times. I'm very happy about this because they are on a lot of blue, and as you will see throughout the game, they end up countering probably the majority of what we try to cast. This is some sort of teamer reclamation list. It's not super obvious that it's a reclamation deck at this point because they still have not played it. It probably would have been a very different game if they had found it sooner, I would imagine. Then again, who the hell really knows? I would say it would be because it would allow them to play both on their turn and our turn, whereas they've really been playing on our turn solely, just holding up that counter magic for all these various spells I'm trying to throw their way. In any case, you'll get to see a lot of my things being countered. I like to think that I don't know. I do try to play around it to some degree, but sometimes you just like you just throw something at them when the shields are not down, and you just pray that it sticks. Here you see me attempting to dash in a Ragavan. Will it go through? Who knows? They're in the tank. No, it does not go through. What a surprise! I didn't telegraph that at all. But yeah, that's unfortunate. That said, were I in their position, I probably would have countered the Ragavan too. Right? Like, you don't want the monkeys to stick or stick around should it stick in the first place. But yeah, it's a good thing that we managed to stick that Nishibu Brawler. It puts in a lot of mileage against this person. And yeah, I feel like it's a real shame that they, again, did not find their wilderness reclamation sooner. Because as you'll see pretty soon, they're gonna like have expansion explosion, and like they have a Niv Mizzet, which of course is an absolutely hilarious combination of cards. But my overall point being, they could have played the Niv on their turn untapped and had that like set to go, but they had to tap out to cast their Niv, which got their shields down, which lets me I think I leyline binding it when it happens. You'll see soon. Again though, it is unfortunate because I know that wilderness reclamation is like a force to be reckoned with in any format it's legal in. Like, how could it not be? It's such a powerful card. So yeah, we draw our Minskin Boo, or as Ty puts it, Big Boo Ting. Um, yeah, man cannot pronounce Minskin Boo to save his life, but that's not the point. We drew it. We're gonna attack, see what their response is. They finally have an answer for the Nishiba Brawler, which is real unfortunate. And I have a choice here to make. I can either just hold the Minskin Boo for when their shields are absolutely down, or I could just jam it out, force the counterspell if they have it, and proceed from there. I do believe I chose the more questionable option, as Minskin Boo is basically a win condition for this deck, and if I had gotten it to stick, that's a big-ass threat. I am, of course, rewarded for my poor choice in play by drawing another one immediately. But yeah, and as you will see, it essentially does. I don't want to say it'll win the game outright, but it does pave the way to victory for sure. So yeah, we fire off a Tribal Flames. They dig for something, and we bind in response. That was like arguably a missequence in terms of binding after the Tribal Flame, as opposed to, the other way around. But yeah, if you have an answer for the Niv, always answer the Niv, because it's more often than not the win condition for the deck that they're playing. We draw a Hell Rider, which is a card that will just end the game in and of itself if it's allowed to swing at this point. But of course they have counter magic for it. I figured we just jam it out, just force the counter if they have it, or they just lose. As opposed to Minskin Boo, which needs like a turn. Maybe that's a reason to have played them first, so I can maybe win with the Hell Rider on the follow-up turn immediately as a surprise. Although I think Minsk is basically, on second thoughts, just fling the hamster because they're at 1. So, but yeah, game is gonna wrap up pretty soon. Here is the Wilderness Reclamation. Talk about way too fucking late. I feel really bad about that. Because they would have played it way sooner. I don't know how many copies that they're on, but they did a fair bit of digging throughout the match, and they couldn't find it. I think, again, it would have absolutely... It could have helped them to win this thing. We are, of course, going to attempt to answer that thing because we know how big of a threat it is. And surprisingly enough, the Dryad does stick. I'm hoping to close the game out with this thing, but as you will see, I don't remember with what exactly, but they do end up answering this thing before I can swing with it, which is unfortunate because they've been they're clinging to dear life here. We're so close, and seeing the Wilderness Wreck, seeing the Niv, seeing the Expansion Explosion, like I'm genuinely terrified at what can come from this player. Like, you think with 12 life I'm like pretty safe, but not necessarily, man. Anything can happen in this game. There's been some pretty wicked comebacks from 1 life in the past. But yeah, we're about to draw our path to victory, or our actual win con. We're going to jam out Minskin Boo, force a counterspell if they have one, and on the stack we're going to cast the Lightning Bolt. But they don't have the counterspell. They end up digging 4-1 with their Jumpstart card. And in response to their Jumpstart card, I believe we Lightning Helix for game in just a second. But yeah, we ended up taking it. I think this was our first actual victory out of like 4, maybe 5 games. But yeah, anyway. But no, that's not important though. Don't mind the low victory count. We're gonna get some wins with this thing. I believe in this deck. This is a deck I believe in, and we will upgrade it over time with the fetch lands and whatever other tech we figure out for it, man.